I come to you hungry and tired. You give me food, let me sleep. I come to you weak. You give me strength, that's deep. Call me the sheep.
Get real.
We start our routine by doing what we call ball slaps. Put a basketball in one hand and then slap it over to your other hand quickly, and do this repeatedly as quick as possible. The next thing we do is what we call finger pads. In this drill we keep the arms straight, the eyes up, and the basketball on the finger pads of our hands. We move it from one level to the next, trying to change the eye level of our athletes, and reinforcing that they keep their eyes up and focus down the floor. The next thing we move into are doing circles. There are 4 types of circles: head, waist, legs, and corkscrew. The first 3, you just circle the ball around whatever level the coach desires. In the last one, the corkscrew, we have our athletes do 5 around each level on the way up in one direction, and 5 on each level coming down in the other direction. Figure 8 sequence. We do figure 8 with no dribble, the same thing as circle, except you're going to figure 8 around your legs. We'll go inside out and then outside in. The next thing we will do is we will go figure 8 with the dribble, reinforcing with all the figure 8 drills to keep finger pad control. When we go figure 8 with the dribble, we want our athletes to make several low, quick little dribbles while keeping finger pad control of the basketball, keeping their eyes up and their backsides down. Basketball out in front with both hands, and then bounce it between your legs, and then catch the ball behind you. Now bounce the ball back to the front and catch it in front. Do this as quickly as you can with a force simple dribble. Next, we're going to discuss some two basketball ball handling drills. The first one we have is holding high stationary dribble. Have both balls at the same height, start as low as you can, a bit higher to the waist, and then even higher up to the shoulders, and alternate coach's call. The next one we have is alternating drills. One ball shooting the floor, the other ball is up. So work this at all three levels again, the knee level, the waist level, and the shoulder level, and do so on the coach's discretion call. Next we have the crossover. Start with one ball. Ball up the going between the legs. It's a good push through and explosive change of direction. On the third trip, we then go behind the back, keeping the basketball low and wrapping it around below our backside. The next one we do is called the reverse pivot dribble. We want to keep the ball in that same hand and pull it through as to not leave the ball out for the defensive player to knock it away. The more advanced one is what we call BBC, where we go behind the back, between the legs, and crossover. We call this drill the duration of this drill is applicable to all techniques. Basketballs in each line. The first player in one of the lines should start without a basketball. He will be the first shooter. He will wrap around to the other side of the basket and receive a pass from the first man in the other line. He will then shoot a jump shot and go to the end of the line on the side of the basket he has shot from. The guy who had made the pass will then wrap around to the other side of the basket and receive a pass and shoot a jump shot. Repeat this process and begin to move further from the basket. The drill should end at the fringe of your team's shooting range. Make sure to reinforce proper shooting technique and run this drill for a certain period of time, roughly 3 to 5 minutes.
fame up in lights, he just wants to be heard. Whether it's the beat or the mic, he feels so unlike everybody else, alone. In spite of the fact that some people still think that they know him, but fuck him, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go.
Who the hell is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still leaving them starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him cause he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, now the picture connects, never asking for someone's help or to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote, his will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds, the skill of an artist.
This is 20% skill, 80% fear, be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, naming the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man, Ryu had the stupidest verse, this dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots, his stocks through the roof. I heard he fucking with that stock.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
They call him Ryu, he's sick and he's spitting fire and Mike got him out the dryer, he's hot. Found him in Fort Minor with top, but a fucking nihilist porcupine. He's a prick, he's a cock, the type women wanna be within. Rappers hope he gets shot. 8 years in the making, patiently waiting to blow. Now the record with your notice taking over the globe. He's got a partner in crime, his shit is equally dope. You won't believe the kind of shit that comes out of this kid's throat.
He's not your everyday on the block. He knows how to work with what he's got, making his way to the top. He often gets a comment on his name. People keep asking him, was it given that birth or does it stand for an acronym? No, he's living proof. Let him rock in the booth. He'll get you buzzing quicker than a shot of vodka with juice. Him and his crew are known around as one of the best, dedicated to what they do and give 100%.
Forget Mike, nobody really knows how or why he works so hard. It seems like he's never got time because he writes every note and he writes every line. And I've seen him at work when that light goes on in his mind. It's like a design is written in his head every time before he even touches a key or speaks in a rhyme. And those motherfuckers he runs with, the kids that he signed, ridiculous, without even trying. How do they do it? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Yeah. Fort Minor, M. Shinoda, styles of beyond. Ryu, Top Beer, Machine Shop.
We call this drill 2.5 cycles. It's our transition drill, and we run it for 5 minutes almost every day in practice. The drill starts first by the one man pushing the ball up the floor on the dribble and scoring a layup. The second trip, our 2-man is hit on the wing for a jump shot. Try to keep it at a distance that is applicable to your player skill level. The third trip, we kick it ahead to the 3-man on the left side of the floor for a layup. On the fourth trip, we hit the 4-man who is trailing the play. He catches, makes a shot fake, and then looks to attack the basket off the bounce. On the final trip, we kick it ahead to our 5-man who is running the basket for a layup. The scoring in this drill is 1 point for every shot. On a perfect cycle, which means all shots were made, there's a 5-point bonus added. We call this drill victory drill. This is an offensive and defensive transition drill. You need roughly 12 guys to run this, and you want to break into 2 competitively balanced teams. 1 team in a dark colored jersey, 1 team in a light colored jersey. You can either place 2 cones on the floor halfway between the sideline and the jump circle, or you can place 1 chair or 1 cone in the center of the jump circle. It starts with one team going 3-on-2 and a trail defender entering the drill once the offensive team has crossed half court. Once the possession is terminated, the three defensive players will attack the other team on the under end of the floor, and the next defensive guy on the other team will enter by running around the chair once the offensive team has crossed half court. The trail defender must not enter play until the three offensive players cross half court. Be sure to reinforce this drill. Work on communication, floor spacing, and attacking the basket offensively and protecting the basket defensively. This is 3-2-1 and done. This is a very physical and competitive rebounding drill. This is a team rebounding drill, so you'll want to have at least 4 to 5 players on each team. Try to split the teams into 2 competitively balanced groups. The defensive team must secure 3 consecutive rebounds. If they give up 1 offensive rebound, they start over. They must then secure 2 consecutive rebounds and finally 1 defensive rebound before they are able to go to offense. The other team then must go, and when they finish, the drill is completed. Start the 5 offensive players around the perimeter. Start the 5 defensive players in the paint, lined up in single file on midline. The coach will pass the basketball to one of the offensive players on the perimeter who shoots the ball, then the drill is on. It is live. If the offense gets the ball or the rebound, they play it out by running offense and looking to score. Anytime the offense gets the board, the defensive team must start over, whether they are at 3, 2, or 1. The offensive team can run a set or continuity if they secure the rebound. The defense should box out a different offensive player each time. This works on communication. The variation to this drill can be that you have the offensive players mill around or move before the ball is passed in. We call this drill continuous closeouts. Start with 4 to 5 players on the perimeter and 4 to 5 players lined up under the basket. All perimeter offensive players will shoot ghost jump shots or simulated jump shots. Defensively, we want to let the shooter land and then box out. The first defensive player begins by doing foot fire, and on the whistle, he closes out and boxes out the first offensive player. As he is beginning, the second defensive player begins foot fire and waits for the first player to return to the middle of the paint. On the whistle, player 1 closes out on offensive player 2, and defensive player 2 closes out on offensive player 1. Player 3 is now doing foot fire in the middle of the paint. Repeat until all 4 to 5 players have closed out and boxed out each offensive player. This is a team layup drill that we call Husker layups. The duration of this drill is 4 minutes. We try to go 2 minutes per side. It is a continuous layup drill where the person who passes the ball follows his pass. If you watch in the video, you'll notice the man who passes the ball goes to the next line ahead, and the last man to pass the ball to the player shooting the layup will be the rebounder, and then the guy shooting the layup going the other direction. We call this drill defensive scramble. It's a 4-on-4 drill. You start with 4 offensive players on the baseline and 4 defensive players free throw line extended. The coach will pass the ball to one of the offensive players on the baseline to start the drill. The player who is guarding the man who receives the pass must sprint and touch the baseline. The offensive team attacks 4-on-3, running their transition minus the trail man. The 3 defenders form a triangle, always guarding the ball and protecting basket. Defensively, the goal is to make the offense settle for making multiple passes or shooting a quick jumper. The trail defender, or the man who touched the baseline, should sprint back and match up with the man furthest away from the ball. Once both teams are at full strength, play until the possession is terminated. Defensively, focus on good shell drill principles. Offensively, focus on good cutting and screening. This is our circle motion continuity offense. To start, the point guard enters the ball to a wing. The point guard then screens away. The backside guard makes a butt cut off the point guard and cuts through the lane to the opposite post looking for the ball. Now a triangle has been formed on that side of the floor. To reverse the ball, swing it to the man at the point. The backside guard makes a V cut and pops out. Now the ball is on the backside wing. The bottom man sets a flex screen for the man who is in the corner of the triangle. The point man and wing then set a jam down screen for the guy who set the flex screen. The flex screener comes off the jam down screen and looks for the shot or the reversal pass. The inside man of the jam down screen pops to the outside to become the wing. The outside screener goes to the low block. Now the ball is back in the starting position and the process is repeated. If the ball goes to the other side, the butt cut, jam down, and flex cut are all run on the other side of the floor. Spacing and patience with the ball are key. Make hard cuts, set physical screens, and each man needs to know each spot. This is our shell drill, and we start by doing just basic positioning. We work on the following calls: ball, when you are guarding the guy who has the basketball; deny, when you're 1 pass away; help, when you're 2 passes away; and basket, when you're 3 passes away on the back side. If the man has lost his dribble, we call dead, and when your man shoots, we call shot. If your man is screening another player, we work on calling pick, pick, pick. We want to work on positioning help side, deny, backside, and basket position when we do basic positioning. All 4 players will rotate to all 4 spots to work on their positioning from those 4 different locations on the floor. Once they've rotated through, the other group goes from offense to defense. Next in shell drill, we do what is called front the cutter. This is when your man passes the ball to the wing. We want to jump to the ball, bump the cutter, and force him to go away from the ball. We never want to let the offensive player make a face cut. Use a simple rotation on this drill and work on defending the give and go cuts. Next, we have what we call guard to guard, or defending the screen. We want to get off to the ball. If your man is setting the screen, you sink to the middle of the paint in help side position, letting your teammate know he is going to get picked. You want to help him through the screen, up the lane. The man guarding the man cutting up the lane should pop the inside shoulder of the screener with the denial hand. Use a continuous rotation to work on defending the screen. Once the ball is passed guard to guard, a down screen should be set. One other thing we introduce into our shell drill is called take the charge. This is to simulate the rotation when a man gets beat on the baseline dribble. The man in basket position steps over outside the lane to take the charge. The offensive player taps the charge taker in the chest with the ball, and he simulates taking the charge. Fall to the floor and pop back up and get back into position. Backside help man drops to the basket, and the other two perimeter defenders do what we call squeeze the paint. Next, I want to talk a little bit about making basic post moves. The first one is a drop step to the baseline. We make a good hard shoulder fake to the middle and make a good drop step and low bounce between the legs to the basket. The second one is making a drop step and shooting a jump hook to the middle. Again, we play off a shoulder fake, a good drop, a low bounce, and a quick high finish to the basket. The next one is just the basic turnaround jump shot. We want to catch low, square, find the target, elevate, and shoot the basketball. We'll do the same thing going and turning to the baseline. We want to use the window when we turn to the baseline for that jump shot. The last post move is what we call a step throw. We show the ball on a shot to the middle and we step through to the basket. We repeat this process on the other side of the basket and usually have our post players making anywhere from 2 to 5 reps on each post move, just to refine and learn how to play from one post move to the next.